Hey guys, it's Marcy here. Sweat Equity Transformations, the nation's premier self-esteem enhancer. And welcome to Periscope. Hopefully we'll get some folks to chime in here. What I want to talk about was something that I saw today that really, hey there Miss Kathy, thanks for joining in. I want to talk a little bit about our youth. And the subject for this whole month of August is boundaries and the importance of boundaries play in our everyday lives and in our opportunities for growth and to be successful. But what I saw today, one of my ventures is Athena Rising, which is a mentoring organization for young girls to build self-esteem and help them to become and feel as though they're empowered women and can be successful in all of their endeavors. And one of the things that I frequently do in that role is I monitor young people's social media, because I know that social media is one of the avenues in which young people will often turn to and many times be their most transparent. What I've noticed is that we don't pay attention a lot of the times to what the young people are doing on their social media. And, you know, one of the things that I saw today was a Instagram by a young lady. And on that Instagram, she had approximately 15 or 20 or so posts that were all very, very dark, very, very grim. She was crying out for attention. She was talking about, pictures of guns that say things like bang. She had posts on there that said no one cares. And, as someone who mentors and works with young people, that really broke my heart. As someone who is a speaker who talks about self-esteem and the importance that self-esteem plays in our everyday lives, this is one of those things where I really think as leaders and adults and members of the community, we really need to pay attention to our young people. They're crying out, they're lost, they're asking for help, and no one's watching. And so I ask everyone, on whose watch do we let this happen? At what point do we, as the adults and as the leaders, absolutely, Miss Kathy, we have to pay attention. As adults and as leaders, how do we step in? How do we make or put ourselves in a position for the young people to trust us? I find it really, really sad that young people are more apt to reach out to a complete stranger online behind a keyboard and share their innermost thoughts than they are with the people that are closest to them. And so I just beg and I implore each of you, if you have young people in your lives, whether it's at church, you have children, you have nieces, nephews, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, please pay attention. Pay attention to their social media. Pay attention to their conversation. Pay attention to their lack of conversation. When all they do is bang around on the keyboard and they're so immersed in what's going on in an online world, it's easy for them to lose touch with that reality. And it's easy to think that no one cares because no one's paying attention. And sometimes just a simple, hey, how was your day? Yeah, teenagers are often going to act like they don't want to talk to you. That's pretty normal. But you have to be the bigger person. And so one of the things that I focus on, even with women, and especially with women, is to talk about boundaries. What are healthy boundaries? What do they look like? And that's a conversation that we have to start having with our young people, as far as we need to establish boundaries for them, but we also need to learn how to educate them and teach them to set boundaries for themselves so that they stop feeling so lost. We have to provide them with resources. We have to give them a place to turn to. And, with Athena Rising, my organization, we focus on girls. I'm a firm believer that it's much, much easier for me to infuse self-esteem in a young person, in a woman, than it is to try and repair it after it's broken. There's so much damage that is done to our psyche, physically, psychologically, emotionally, by low self-esteem and feeling like you're lost and you're alone and that no one cares. So, if, like I said, if you have kids in your life, you know, make sure that you're talking to them. Make sure you're paying attention on their social media. You know, you don't have to know their passwords to know what's going on. You know, pay attention to the friends that they have. Pay attention to how many friends that they have. You know, let's have that discussion about, you know, what is appropriate behaviors on social media. Who's watching? Why are they watching? What do they do with the information? How long is it stored? You know, one of my organization's Kickstart Mentorship Program, we are about to do a presentation for our youth on just that fact about social media. We're bringing in an expert. We're going to talk to the young people about the world that they live in. And that world is social media. And we're going to talk to them about setting boundaries. We're going to talk to them about how to, you know, connect, how not to connect, and really truly educate our young people on the kinds of people that they're going to meet online or that they potentially could meet online. You know, it's easy to think that someone really cares because they talk back on a keyboard, but how much better would it be if we just actually took the time to show our young people that we really do care and did it in person? You know, a hug, a how are you doing, let's go grab ice cream, whatever. Just take 5 minutes a day, because right now our children are lost. They're being raised online. We got mamas and daddies out in the clubs. We've got parents living for likes on Facebook themselves. You know, at what point and on whose watch do we allow this stuff to continue? Thanks, Miss Kathy. Yeah, it just, you know, it really broke my heart to see that young lady, you know, in so much pain. And what was so scary to me was that her last post was 25 weeks ago. And one of the last things she said on her social media was, no one cares. So if it was 25 weeks ago, she hasn't been back on since, and that was her last thought. Yeah, uh-oh. I shudder to think, you know, what happens when they stop talking? What happens when they stop posting? And who notices? So that's one of the things that I just wanted to talk to everyone about. Spread a little encouragement, and hopefully you take some time out, talk to the young people in your lives. Find organizations in your area. If you're here in Phoenix, Kickstart Mentorship Academy, we have a brotherhood and a sisterhood for girls and for boys. My Athena Rising program is going to be starting up for the fall. You know, get your kids involved. Find people. If you don't have the time, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. I would appreciate that. If you have time, you know, to give, please do that. Please do that. Please give some time to the young people. And if you don't have the time, find someone who does. There are mentors out there. There are organizations who want to be there for your kids when you can't be. But guys, we gotta. It takes a village. It still takes a village. We've always said that, and it's just like right now, the village is really disappointing and letting down our young people. And they're our future. So if they're not prepared and they're not educated and they're not confident and they're going to take over our world someday, hate to see what it looks like 40 years from now when I need them to take care of me. So I'm committed, and I hope you all are committed to invest that time and make that investment in our young people. Until then, thanks for joining me. Live life on Mars. It's your world, your life, your rules. And just remember, keep the young people in your prayers, keep them in your heart, and stay in communication with them. Till then, peace, y'all.